Hi everyone, it's International Read Aloud Day. I am Wendy Fitzwilliam, Miss Universe 1998, coming to you from the Ministry of Education in Port of Spain, Trinidad. And I'm so happy to be with you to read a story with you, a beautiful story. Are you ready? My story comes from Step by Step, Book 3. Beneath the Waves. Grace loved playing in the sea. She liked splashing in the shallows. She enjoyed jumping through the waves. But most of all, she adored diving beneath the surface of the water. For her birthday, Daddy gave her a face mask. "Wear this, Grace," he said. "You will be able to see so much more of life beneath the waves." After that, whenever Grace played in the sea, she wore her face mask. One day, Grace was swimming along when she caught a glimpse of what looked like the tail of a fish. It was silver, and it seemed to shimmer in the water. She made her way towards it, but it disappeared beneath a rock. Grace followed. She swam round the rock, and there, on the sand, she saw the most amazing sight. It was a mermaid, just like the ones she had seen in her books. The mermaid had long hair that moved and swayed in the water like seaweed. She was gazing into a beautiful mirror made of shells and pearls. Grace just stared at her. The mermaid looked up at Grace and beckoned to her. Grace swam a little closer. Suddenly, with a flick of her tail, the mermaid darted off. After a moment's pause, Grace swam after her, certain that she could trust a mermaid. The mermaid dived deeper and deeper. Grace followed. Through great branches of orange and red and white coral, through huge shoals of bright, shiny fish. The water grew darker and colder, but Grace could see a dim light ahead. The mermaid and Grace swam towards it. Eventually, Grace found herself in a huge cave. It was lit by torches and candles, which gave off a gentle golden light. Beneath her feet was the softest, whitest sand she had ever walked on. In the corner, an orchestra played quietly. She looked more closely. The members of the orchestra were crabs, octopuses, and lobsters, each of them playing 2, 3, or 4 instruments. A shark drifted past, holding a tray of small pastries. Grace took one. It was delicious. She looked around and saw that the mermaid sitting on a large pink spiral shell, so she joined her. Grace floated over and sat down. The mermaid turned towards her. "My name is Helena," she said. "I have often seen you in the sea." The girl and the mermaid talked for many hours. Helena told Grace about life beneath the waves. Grace told Helena about life above the waves. Eventually, the orchestra stopped playing, and it grew quiet. "You should go now," Helena said. "Can I visit you again?" Grace asked. Helena handed her the mirror of shells and pearls. "If you look into my mirror, I will see you and come up for you," Helena told her. Grace took the mirror and felt herself growing sleepy. The next moment, someone was shaking her shoulder. "Come on, Grace. It's time to go home." It was Daddy. They were both lying in the shade of a palm tree on the beach. Grace rubbed her eyes. "What a strange dream," she said to herself. She stood up and picked up her towel. There in the sand was a beautiful mirror made of shells and pearls. Wow. I hope you guys liked that story. Wasn't it a fun story? I've always loved mermaids. Do you? And life in the sea. You know, when I was a little girl, on vacation in Barbados with my mom. My dad couldn't join us. He had to stay in Trinidad and work. I was about 8 years old at the time. I could not swim a lick. I would play a lot in the ocean with my father and my sister. My mom always sat on the shore and watched us. But because my dad was a very strong swimmer, mommy never worried. But on this particular vacation, my sister and I would jump into the deep end of the pool and doggy paddle up the center of the pool, which drove mom crazy. So the minute we returned to Trinidad, as a matter of fact, as we left Piarco on our way home from the airport, she stopped by YMCA and signed us up for swimming lessons. My sister, mom, and me. And that was one of the best decisions, I think, that my mom and my dad made, my sister and I. We love the water. It's so much fun. Do you guys swim? And if you do, where do you swim? What's your favorite beach? I have a few. You know, I'm a greedy girl. So I can never have one favorite beach in Trinidad and Tobago. And I dare say Tobago, very important, one of the most beautiful places on planet Earth. I love Maracas Beach because I love the waves. Do you like the waves? They beat you about a little bit, but it's so much fun. And I love, of course, the bacon shark and the lime. In COVID, outside of COVID, Maracas is always a good time. I love Toco, which is a little bit more rough, but very pretty. And if you love picking up shells, Toco, and I would say all along our East Coast, Manzanilla, Mayaro, always lovely shells, which I now look at. I don't pick up and take anymore because I'm so much more conscious of our environment. Are you? I hope you are too. When you go to the sea and you enjoy the coral and, you know, the shells, enjoy them there, but leave them there. It's so important for us to do that so that our children and our grandchildren, great-grands can also enjoy the beauty of the ocean. So I've covered Trinidad a little bit, right? Tobago. Hello. From the minute you step off the plane or the boat, if you arrive in Tobago via Scarborough, because I like both, there's gorgeous water everywhere. Beaches galore. Storby kind of reminds me of Maracas without the bacon shark. You have the curry crab and dumpling and the vibes of Maracas. Pretty water, waves sometimes. Sometimes it's wildly tranquil and beautiful, and then in seconds, massive waves show up at Storby, which is a lot of fun, but more fun if you can swim. I love Pigeon Point. I love Castara. If you've never seen a sunset at Castara, guys, you tell your parents the next time you go to Tobago, Mom, Dad, we must go to Castara for sunset. Why? Because Auntie Wendy, Miss Universe 1998, says so. Yes. The entire leeward coast of Tobago, so Castara, Englishman's Bay, Charlottesville, spectacular. But because I do love the water so much, and that's what my little story reminds me of, one of my favorite places in the world is Bateau Bay, which is in Tobago. There's a lovely little resort on that beach called Blue Waters Inn. So most of us call it the Blue Waters Inn Bay, but it's really Bateau Bay. And off that particular beach is one of the most spectacular reefs in the world. We all know the Nyland Pool and Bucco Reef, which is absolutely gorgeous too. And I love hanging out there. But Angel Reef off of Bateau Bay has some of the most beautiful, cleanest waters in the world, so you can see very clearly. There's still a lot of angel fish there. There's a lot less traffic on that particular reef, so it's really pretty. But you have to be a very strong swimmer because the currents are crazy. And why? Because that's the windward side of Tobago. It's the east coast. It's very protected by Goat Island, I think, and Little Tobago, if I'm not mistaken, are the names of the two little islands. But talk about gorgeous. Now, there are glass bottom boats that take you out there too. So if you want to just sit in the boat and observe the reef from the boat, you can absolutely do that. But doing it from the water is spectacular. So I hope after this International Read Aloud Day, you'll read more fun stories like mine. And as you read, you'll discover, as I have throughout my life, fun little new things to do. You know, I am no longer a baby. Many of you weren't even born or thought of when I won Miss Universe, but I'm still learning every single day. And a lot of, the experiences I have, or the experiences that I'm determined to have, that I dream about, come from reading books about various cultures, the people, the food, the environments of the places on our beautiful planet. So I hope you enjoy reading, not only today, but every day. And remember to read aloud.